I know that you were the first, one of the first ones at Clive's party to speak about Whitney's passing the other day.
Yes.
And that was, did you know her well?
Yes, I did. I actually, when I was growing up in the music industry before I had success, I somehow got on her wedding invitation.
Why does Diddy's name keep popping up in theories about high-profile celebrity deaths and bizarre Hollywood behavior? Lately, people are pointing out that if you closely analyze how he spoke about Whitney Houston, it almost seems like he knew more than he let on about what really happened to her. And according to these theories, everything seems to connect back to one person. And if you're paying attention, you can probably already guess who that is.
Diddy and Davis, have they ever had anything past business? Because to me, they seem to mirror each other behavior-wise. Like to me, they both got like that dark energy around them. But I almost wonder, like, damn, you know, did they ever have anything? Well, I just wondered that. Because they're very...
And then it's Grammy time. And her and had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know, she's...
The strange thing is, Whitney Houston died on the eve of Clive Davis's iconic pre-Grammy party, a party that disturbingly went on downstairs even as her lifeless body remained upstairs in a hotel bathtub. Ask yourself this: why would Clive continue the celebration, fully aware that Whitney had just died in his suite? Why was the man who helped launch her career seemingly so unfazed? Now let's bring Diddy into the picture. Could it be that he knows more than he lets on, or worse, is somehow connected to powerful networks that operate far beyond what the public sees? Some believe there's a long-standing underground system within the industry, one that protects certain individuals while silencing others. If that's true, what role does Diddy really play? But it gets even deeper. Bobby Brown has publicly stated that he believes there was foul play not only in Whitney's death, but also in their daughter Bobby Christina's. He's even suggested that Nick Gordon, Christina's ex, may have had a hand in both tragedies. The pattern is chilling, and the questions just keep piling up.
I want the world to know that Bobby Christina did not die from the bathtub incident. That's not what killed Bobby Christina.
What killed Bobby Christina?
Bobby Christina was starved to death.
Do you approach that?
He knows what happened. I don't know what happened that night, but he does.
You walk through that door and you see her much like you saw Whitney.
It was literally, it was a nightmare all over.
Word on the street is that Bobby Brown believes this entire situation runs deeper than just Nick Gordon. And with Whitney Houston's name being brought up during recent legal proceedings, it seems like Bobby might have a lot more to say than he's let on. Things are getting wild, and I'm diving all the way into it. To start, Whitney's name surfaced during the trial when Diddy's former assistant, Capricorn Clark, testified. While discussing Cassie's talent, Capricorn compared her to true vocal powerhouses, saying, "Talent to me is Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey." When Diddy's lawyer asked her why she thought Cassie was merely talented and not very talented, Capricorn explained that Cassie was more of a studio artist, someone more comfortable in a booth with production tweaks, rather than a commanding, live performer like Whitney. But that wasn't the only time Whitney's name came up. During cross-examination, Diddy's lawyer asked Cassie if she remembered the night Diddy allegedly overdosed on opioids in February 2012, just around the time Whitney died. Cassie replied, "I believe so. That evening we had a freak-off, went to a club in San Bernardino, and later partied at the Playboy Mansion. I went home, but he told me he had taken a strong opioid that night. We ended up taking him to the hospital. Now, no one knows why Whitney's name came up in that context, but people are saying it's no coincidence. Her sudden death has long raised questions, and the fact that she's being mentioned in this trial has only fueled the speculation that Diddy may have had some kind of connection to it. Let's rewind. Whitney was found unresponsive, submerged in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. The official cause of death was ruled as accidental drowning, with toxicology reports citing small amounts of cocaine, marijuana, Xanax, and other substances. Authorities initially claimed that a heart attack, possibly caused by artery blockage, may have caused her to lose consciousness and drown. But here's the thing. The coroner found no evidence of a cardiac episode. They only noted mild heart, disease, and minor artery blockage, something fairly common among smokers. Even more unsettling, the amount of water found in Whitney's lungs wasn't consistent with a classic drowning, raising the possibility that she was already unconscious or dead before being placed in the tub. So the big question remains, what really happened and who was involved? Now here's where Diddy enters the picture again. Despite giving public tributes and speaking warmly about Whitney after her death, including an appearance on Ellen where he reminisced about knowing her, there's speculation that the two didn't have a genuine relationship. Sources claim Whitney didn't trust Diddy, and some say she went out of her way to avoid people she saw as part of the Hollywood machine. According to insiders, she saw Diddy as someone deeply embedded in that system, the very one she was trying to escape. So if Whitney kept her distance, why has Diddy spoken so openly about her as if they were close? Was it sincere, or was it part of something else? That's the question people are starting to ask. And the deeper you look, the more suspicious it all begins to seem.
You were the first, one of the first ones at the party to speak about Whitney's passing the other day.
Yes.
And that was, did you know her well?
Yes, I did. I actually, when I was growing up in the music industry before I had success, I somehow got on her wedding invitation. So I was at her wedding, but I didn't really know her, but it was like the hottest thing in town for the music industry, but I didn't crash the party somehow. You know, I was a hustler. I got my name on there, me plus one. I went there, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm at Whitney Houston's wedding. You know, I was a big Bobby Brown fan. And then throughout the years, I got to meet her, and she was so full of life, so full of just joy. And she always made you feel like she noticed you and recognized you and spoke to you. And she'll definitely truly be missed.
Was Diddy trying to align himself with Whitney Houston after her death purely for image reasons? That's what many are starting to believe. Why would someone Whitney reportedly distrusted suddenly go out of their way to publicly honor her, speaking on her legacy and claiming closeness, once she was no longer alive to set the record straight? Allegedly, the connection between Diddy and Whitney isn't personal at all. It's strategic. And according to whispers in the industry, it all leads back to the one person people often refer to as Diddy's master, Clive Davis. A man with legendary power in the music business, Clive has built global superstars, and as many claim, just as easily discarded them when they no longer fit the industry's agenda. So the question is, had Whitney become a liability? Was she preparing to speak out or reveal something? And did Clive, with the help of his most loyal protege, Diddy, make a chilling decision that night? To some, this theory doesn't sound far-fetched, especially considering the alleged relationship between Diddy and Clive. There have long been rumors that Clive Davis took advantage of the young men he mentored. And as we've heard before, there's been ongoing speculation about what really went on between Diddy and Clive behind the scenes. Clive Davis is openly bisexual. In his memoir, The Soundtrack of My Life, he wrote about having 2 long-term relationships with men over a span of 20 years, even recalling his first same-sex encounter during the Studio 54 era in the late 1970s. As for how he met Diddy, Clive opened up during an episode of Rock and Roll High School with Pete Ganbarg. He recalled how a 23-year-old Puffy approached him, saying hip-hop needed to break into the top 40 and change the music business forever. While Clive didn't quite understand the vision at first, Diddy played him Flavor in Your Ear by Craig Mack, followed by several Notorious B.I.G. tracks. That sealed the deal. Clive admitted, "Okay, you proved your point." From there, he introduced Diddy to weekly A&R meetings and connected him with key executives. But according to some industry insiders, that opportunity came with a heavy price. It's been long speculated that Clive financially backed Diddy and helped him launch Bad Boy Entertainment. But that Diddy had to pay for that support in ways that went far beyond business. The darker theory? That Diddy's true price for Clive's protection was becoming his enforcer, the man who handled the dirty work, silencing threats, covering up scandals, and removing liabilities. And according to these allegations, Whitney Houston may have become one of those liabilities. If you've been paying attention, Bobby Brown has been dropping cryptic hints for years, through interviews, his memoir, and emotional moments, almost like he's been screaming the truth without directly saying it. He's suggested that foul play was involved in Whitney's death, and even in their daughter Bobby Christina's tragic passing. Some have brushed him off as unstable or paranoid, but what if Bobby has been right all along? Personally, I'm still trying to make sense of all these disturbing allegations. But what do you think? Was Bobby Brown really onto something? Do you see the deeper connection between Diddy, Clive Davis, and Whitney Houston? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because this story is far from over.